Hey everyone, welcome. House Church video for a side week. We are in the home stretch of our Sermon on the Mount series, and we looked at the passage where Jesus is telling us not to judge other people, instead to pay attention to the things in our own lives before we even go to judging others, or to use a better term, before we can have good moral discernment about what's going on in their lives. And then the next passage we looked at was him actually making a moral judgment, saying, don't cast your pearls before swine or your treasures before dogs. So Jesus in this passage telling us don't judge, but then also having the discernment to label certain people as being unworthy of giving something to. A lot in this passage, and it's a complex passage, but it's also one of our least favorite, probably, because it's been used against us. I talked about how my kids have used it against me. My little guy going, "Judge not lest ye be judged, Dad." And I'm like, oh, sorry, you're right. Yeah, you got me. But we took that passage that we don't care for sometimes, and we looked at the passage that we always love alongside it, and that's in John, the woman who's caught in adultery, who Jesus gets rid of all her accusers in this brilliant way. And then he says, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. As we held these two together, I had this question. Clearly, we're supposed to morally discern things. We're supposed to choose between right or wrong. We're supposed to point out for our children, don't be like that. And often it's like that person or that family or that friend. Instead, be like this one. And it can come across judgmentally, but we're still supposed to discern. What's the difference between judgment and moral discernment? That's my question. My light bulb came as I thought about Jesus' teachings. Two places. The first light bulb was, obviously, look at the stuff in my own eye. You can't actually morally discern something if you're ignoring your own life. If you are totally unaware of things in your own life, then you're pretty out of touch with reality, and you can't really be you can't really be trusted to evaluate somebody else. It just makes sense. And we know this when people have given us feedback. There's people that it's easy to take it from, or at least easier, and these are the people that don't have glaring faults in their life. We're not tempted to say, who are you to tell me? Your life is a total mess. But then somebody comes along who's farther ahead. They've done a lot of inner work. They've self-examined themselves. They're in community, and their lives show the fruit of that. And so they've earned the right to speak to us. My light bulb moment is basically this. Before somebody cares about what I say, I have to work on my vision. I have to get the beam out of my own eye for my words to mean something. My second light bulb moment was, I need good, honest people around me to tell me sometimes about the beam in my eye, because I can miss it. And then my conviction is just simply that Jesus is awesome. The more you look at him, the more amazing he is. I just can't get enough of that guy. Particularly the brilliance and the beauty of this woman whose story we delve into at great length, and some of it I filled in the blanks until she comes on the scene. But whatever her life was really like, she ends up in this place of absolute brokenness, hopelessness, just inches from being dead. And to use the line from that song we sang, it's like Jesus called her name and she just runs out of that grave when he says, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. The beautiful picture of somebody giving a moral judgment in a hopeful way. She is sinning. Don't do that anymore. That's a judgment. That's a moral discernment. But the freedom that comes with the go and sin no more, how do you not love Jesus? That's my conviction. May you fall in love with him more as you talk about this and enjoy speaking into each other's lives, the potential beams that you might have that you're not aware of. And if you want to be really bold in your house church, that's the question to ask. Say, what blind spots in my life keep you from listening to me? Or what things am I actively ignoring that keep you from listening to me? What keeps me from having a lack of credibility as I try to speak life into your life? Your house church is there for exactly those kinds of discussions. Be courageous, dive into that. You'll all be better for it. Grace and peace, everyone. Have a good house church.